So did you know that you are carrying your mama's trauma and her mama's trauma and potentially her mama's trauma also? Sit tight, buckle up, strap in, because we are going on a ride. So the thing about trauma and chaos and drama and all the things that happen in life is that they don't just go away, right? When you have issues and when you've gone through a traumatic experience, that energy stays with you. And as a woman, it's super important to understand that everything you experience, good or bad, is being passed to your children, born and unborn, and their children, born and unborn. Let me tell y'all how this literally blew my mind. So of course, I work with clients all the time, and we focus on trauma resolution as one of the foundational principles to creating a life of love, peace, and passion, and having passionate relationships. You must become aware of your own trauma. You must resolve the emotional barriers and blocks that are stopping you from having the type of relationships that you want, and really just stopping you from living a life of personal healing, happiness, and wholeness. But when I was like, oh my God, is when I learned the science of this, the real root cause of generational trauma, generational curses, as we call them in the Black community. So I have a client because she's a longtime client. Her name is Jennifer Caldwell. Shout out to you, Jen, down at LSU now, making things happen. Complete and total Black girl magic, right? Black women are just so brilliant, but that's the story for another time and another show. Back to Jen. So Jen is an epigeneticist, which don't that just sound so like Black excellence? Anyway, Jen had me do a panel with her one time, and we talked about the effects and the impact of trauma in families and how that trauma becomes generational curses and is passed down. So I don't use the word curse because I don't believe that anyone or anything can curse you, right? You have the power to shape and create your life. But I do know that patterns can become pathology. And when there are patterns within a family that everyone begins to adopt and that get passed down from generation to generation to generation, they can become a pathology. And so what I learned from Jennifer in all of her epigenetic brilliance is that you are experiencing the exact same emotional experience as at least 3 generations. When we think about that, especially when it comes to the Black community and to Black women, it is no wonder that sometimes there is just a whole shit show going on in our family. It is no wonder why we are so overwhelmed and feeling so beat down and so stressed and so bogged down and so angry and don't know where that anger is coming from. And this is really the science of it, right? And so it's not just your job to heal your trauma for yourself. It's your job to do it for the generations that are coming after you and for the generations who came before you. Because not every woman in your family has the opportunity that you have today. Talking about your feelings and your emotions was considered a luxury at one point. Nobody cared how Black women felt. No one wanted to know about the emotional experiences of Black women. And that's really where that strong Black woman trope comes from. That is so damaging and so devastating. That is part of the reason why more Black women die during childbirth, because doctors just simply believe that we can take more pain than other women. It's the reason why in our relationships, often Black men don't take the time to look at the struggles that we're having, because we handle everything and we do it with such grace that people sometimes forget that we are human beings. And so taking the time to really truly recognize the magnitude of all of the trauma that you're carrying from your mother to her mother to her mother's mother and all of the mothers in your lineage, I think will really give you the perspective and inform you of the importance of taking the time now to heal and resolve your own trauma so that you restore the balance, so that you restore the harmony in your head, in your heart, and in your home. And when we think about home, we think about family. And so I'm so dedicated and committed to teaching women how to create a foundation of self-care that starts with resolving emotional trauma, because I understand the pressures that we go through, and I understand how vital it is to you having a life of love, to you having a life of peace, and to you having a life of passion where you can really and truly enjoy the things that life wants to give you. And when you begin to resolve your trauma, life listens to that message. And what it hears is that I want more ease, I want more love, I want more peace, I want more joy, I want more pleasure. Instead of the message that you send to life when you're constantly adding more trauma on and passing it down to the other members of the family, which is that we like it here. We like having to struggle. We like fighting. We like not having great relationships, and we like experiencing trauma. So shout out to Jen again for this amazing lesson. And shout out to you, all the women who are showing up for themselves, even when you don't know exactly what step to take in pursuit of resolving your trauma for you and your mama. I hope that this episode was helpful to you. I want to know what you think. Make sure that you comment down below. Let me know how you're going to begin to start your trauma resolution journey, and feel free to ask me any questions. I'll see you all on the next episode.